Tori Amos has finally gotten here. She's pulling out some music, and we're going to chat and be playing and just having a good time playing some tunes. Coming right up here, Thunder 94.
You wait.
New Rock, and Tori's over here just pulling tunes.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, I'm coming over here. Okay,
yeah, we got a stack started here.
we've begun.
Yeah,
We're gonna start with. I remember when this record came out, and I don't know about you, but I put it on in the car with a cassette. I wasn't schmoozy enough to have a CD player in my car. You know, I had this beat-up Capri.
I think, though, when we're talking about the U2,
They didn't even have
I don't think U2s were, I don't think CDs were up
They weren't
then.
existing. Well, that makes me feel better, because all I had was a cassette. But anyway, I was driving in the desert in L.A., going out, and I'd never been to Joshua Tree before, but I was driven to go there because of this record. And this was probably my favorite cut off that record.
Wait, yeah, we got to put it in here. Okay. You know what? I actually went out to Joshua Tree myself for the first time. What was it? It was on New Year's. It was on New Year's last year. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's an amazing place, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because the Joshua Tree cactus, it's ugly. Those things are ugly. But, you know, boy, I guess, I don't know if you two went out there and got inspired or what.
Yeah.
You know, okay, well, I guess we'll throw on your first song and then we'll chat for a bit, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Per Tori Amos, live here at Thunder 94. This is U2 and Bullet the Blue Sky on Thunder 94, Nashville's New Rock. Thunder 94, it's Nashville's New Rock, and by Tori's request, our guest DJ today, Tori Amos, 9 Inch Nails from the Pretty Hate Machine CD, and Something I Can Never Have, and we also got in U2, also one of my favorites, Bullet the Blue Sky. So with the Pretty Hate Machine, you have a little mention on Caught-a-Light Sneeze of, you say, you know, my only little Pretty Hate Machine. Is that anything to do with Trent at all? Just happened.
I think his music's really great. I always have. I think he's a wonderful musician. Neil shows up. Do you know the Sandman? Neil Gaiman, Sandman, comic book writer, he shows up. Different people kind of come and go. They come, they wave hello and goodbye on the record, show up. And then sort of split.
Yeah, it works. And with the first single, Caught-a-Light Sneeze, you filmed a video in a church. Is that correct? What was the inspiration for that?
Actually, we made the music in a church. All the music was
really? The whole thing?
Yeah. The whole record was recorded in a church in Ireland. The videos were recorded elsewhere, but all the music was recorded in a church in Ireland. In Delgany, which is in County Wicklow, right about an hour south of Dublin.
That's been quite an experience. I think I saw an interview with you somewhere. You were saying the church itself wasn't like an old abandoned church either. It was a church still in business.
Oh, no, the ladies were selling their jam and their poppy seed cake on Friday. We had to clear out when there were funerals.
And mass and stuff.
Yeah, it was very much a working church, which I wanted. I didn't want a quote-unquote disco/church. There's so many of those in Europe where the old churches have been converted to clubs.
Really?
I really wanted a church that had that energy, where people were really having services, because I was working off of that whole Christian lineage.
I could see that completely, you know, the whole vibe inside.
Oh, yeah.
How long were you in that church recording this?
About 6 weeks.
Fairly short time. Just cranked this out.
Well, yeah, then we went somewhere else, and then we went somewhere else. And then we finished it in other places.
And with the new single, Tallulah, you've changed up the lyrics a bit.
Yeah, well, I was eating linguine in this little restaurant in London with BT, who remixed it. We were just having a bowl of something yummy and a little bit of really good Chardonnay, right? And so he hadn't remixed it yet. He was going in within a week, and he just said, do you have any thoughts? And I said, no, knock yourself out. Just make it smoke, because I don't think the album version smokes yet, and I didn't capture it, and it's not finished yet. She's terrorizing me every night till she can put on her high heels and dance. And he said, yeah, don't worry, she's going to be dancing with heels, Tori. I said, okay, good. And he goes, we started talking, and he goes, do you know about the websites? And you're on these websites? I said, I don't know anything about websites. And he said, don't you know that, like, people chase tornadoes? There are pages for people that chase tornadoes. I sat there with this thing of linguine in my hand. And I'm flinging it all over the restaurant going, he's chasing tornadoes, I'm just waiting calmly, chasing. Hey. He looked at me and said, what are you doing? What's that? I said, I don't know. It just came out. And I sang it again to him. He said, what are you going to do with it? I said, well, it's got to go in Tallulah. We grabbed a bottle of wine. We dashed out, jumped in a cab. It was like after midnight in London. It took us an hour to find a tiny little box studio and ran in and began re-recording.
Wow. So now it's, and that's going to be, the new version is going to be an upcoming releases, right?
Yeah.
Of Voice for Pele.
Yeah, it's the reprint for Pele, which is just happening. You'll never be able to get the old version again. The first pressing, you'll never be able to find it again within a few weeks.
Because the new one has the inspiration within it.
Maybe it's got the high heels. Yeah.
And it's maybe some nylon stockings.
It's in this Twister thing. This Twister movie coming out.
Yeah, the new Steven Spielberg movie, whatever. It's supposed to be the big summer hit. We'll see.
The funny thing was, they heard about it, and this was like a couple weeks after I had done it. I didn't even know that this was happening, and they said, we really want it in there because it's the one song. And it's so funny because if I had ever been asked to write something for the Twister movie, I never would have talked about tornadoes. That usually isn't my style. So it was written before I even knew that this movie existed.
Wow, meant to happen. Could
funny,
be.
eh?
Could be.
It was the linguine.
And you can't remember the sauce or anything?
Definitely, it was a red sauce, absolutely, and it had an eggplant in it.
And it could have been the wine that went with it, too, you know. The whole mood of it could have been the restaurant, too. You never know.
Always the wine. We love a little bit of wine. It's my, I'd like to think I was Bacchus's cousin in another life.
Yes, you got to have it. Wine helps with the mood.
Absolutely helps. It helps, I think, also if you listen to this record, when people say, this is kind of a bit hard going, Tori. I suggest a really good bottle of red. I mean, a really good bottle.
Like a good Merlot, maybe?
Yeah, really good. Anything. I mean, you can't go cheapy. It has to be yummy. And I don't drink red myself, but the reason I suggest red is because just the honest truth was I was on a quest for boy blood at the time, at one of the stages while I was writing this record, when I was at my lowest. And so it kind of gives you the feeling it's not as good as boy blood, but it comes close. And unless you understand how ravenous I was and how over the hedge I was, then the record doesn't make sense. I mean, I was gone.
And you're going through a breakup.
Yeah.
Right. I really don't want to get into it if you don't, but, I guess, from what I've been reading, that has a lot to do with the whole record.
I was just completely, shocked. I mean, my whole life at that time really just shattered. And I did some real crazy things that I don't know if they're in character or out of character. I mean, that was the thing I had to figure out. Is professional widow part of me? She kind of is sometimes, but it's good if Hey Jupiter is hanging out with her just to find a little bit of balance.
And that is being one of the songs on the album, right? Hey Jupiter?
Hey Jupiter and Widow. Yeah, they're all on the record.
And Muhammad. Yeah. Do you think, now that you've just started the tour, right, fairly recently, right, the Dewdrop In tour?
Yeah, started it in Europe into February, so we've just started it in the States a week ago.
Do you think that by performing the songs live and doing them, night after night, that brings it to a whole new level? Maybe a cleansing, maybe something?
Well, the songs are really changing. With each night, the songs are shifting. I mean, I almost see different layers to them that I didn't before. And my approach to them is different. Just what I'm accenting within the show. Just lines and phrases. They're starting to come alive to me. It's almost like before I couldn't see who they really were. And now the fog is lifting and I'm being able to see, the scars on their faces or the little, paintings they have going and just different parts of them that I never saw before.
It's almost as if you could go back into the studio even after the tour and re-record the album. It would be totally different.
Totally different, yeah.
but, you know, it is what it is now, you know, and it's quite a piece of work. Tell you what, Tori, we'll play a couple commercials and then maybe something from the album if you like, or something else since you're being guest DJ today.
Okay.
Whatever you want to hear. All right. Thunder 94, it's Nashville's New Rock. Tori Amos here, live in the studio. I guess they're dragging you away over to our
Julie,
sister station.
they're dragging me out.
To Thunder Radio Lightning. So if you'd like to continue listening to the magic and conversation
That's very gracious of you, Julie. That's so cool.
I'm going to lose my whole entire listening audience now. They're all going to go listen to Radio Lightning.
No, I don't
Thanks for coming
think you
by.
will.
It is a sold-out show tonight, and hey, we have a pair of tickets to give away. Do you want to do a trivia question real quickly, or?
Oh God. Blimey.
Or you can just choose a number.
Okay, no. Let's do a trivia question. Who's the duet? Who did I do a duet with that was never and has never been released? Because we had an argument.
I was going to ask you that question.
He and I didn't have an argument, but we saw it differently than the film studio. So who did I do that with?
You know, I was going to ask you about that, so it's a good thing I didn't. Now we have it as a great trivia question. So there you go. If you can answer that question, first person to answer that question, the duet that never happened with Tori and who that duet was, give us a call. 737-9400, star 94 from your Cellular One phone. It's a sold-out show tonight. So call up and get the tickets. The first person with the correct answer. Tori, again, thanks a lot for coming by. And this is the remix of Tallulah, as we just heard Tori talk about. Thunder 94, Nashville's New Rock.